man. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Jenna Coleman. Make some noise. Come on. Come on.
Hi.
Hello. Congratulations.
Thank
this
you.
show is fantastic. You should be very proud.
Thank you.
Season 3, huge deal.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool.
7 children.
7 children. That's one of the things, my gosh. I was telling you, I'm obsessed with this show. My wife and I love it. And it's made me like, I'm not going to, by any stretch of the imagination, a historian, but like I've gone and looked things up I would not have otherwise looked up. I had no idea how many, 9 kids total.
9 children.
9 children.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And she was 4'11" as well, which is just insane. It's kind of like symbol of endurance, absolutely.
There's a ton of stuff just like that I want to get into and talk to you about over the next 15, 20 minutes. But first and foremost, Jen, how are you doing? How's life right now? This is exciting. You must be excited. This is coming out, season 3. It's all wrapped up. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
Yeah, good. I kind of feel as if we've literally just put it to bed. Like, I finished the last ADR session just before Christmas. Yeah, so it's funny. It's like quick. It's coming out really quick.
That is fast, actually.
Yeah.
You have done the session, and then now here it is.
Yeah, now I'm in New York.
Yeah, here you are. Welcome.
Thanks.
Where were you yesterday? Literally yesterday.
I literally just got back from Marrakesh.
I thought I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's wild. What were you doing over there? Were you just holiday?
Like looking around, you know.
Just poking around in Marrakesh.
Buying some teapots and some bowls and stuff.
Big tea person? Yeah?
I like tea.
You like your tea? You get a good teapot while you're over there?
I got a good teapot, yeah.
I'm very excited to see a photo of this teapot at some point. Well, welcome to New York. It's so nice to have you here. And like I said, we're all excited. The season 3 is coming on Sunday. It's a big deal. The fans are going to finally get to see it and stuff like that. You know, this show, it's huge all over the world. And you are no stranger to international fan bases at this point. First with Doctor Who, and now this is a huge success all over. For you, is there a perceivable difference in a fan interaction in like the U.S. versus the U.K. or someplace else? Do the fans respond to you differently even though it's the same work?
I would say there's a kind of just a different approach, generally, a different level of enthusiasm. Like I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but definitely here people are much more open to showing enthusiasm, whereas, you know, in the UK, if you're stopped, it's a lot more like, excuse me, excuse me, I just would like to tell you maybe that I think I really like Victoria. Thank you. Bye. Sorry to bother you. Bye. Thank you. Excuse me.
I love how apologetic. Oh, that's so charming.
Yeah. Whereas here, you kind of feel there's a much more kind of open arms, embracing, and like, hey, I think you're great, and that kind of vibe.
We'll scream it at you from across the street. There's no, and we won't apologize.
I did have a really funny Deliveroo. Like we've got Deliveroo, which is like your Postmates.
Yeah.
And I had a really funny experience the other week where I was in a hotel and I opened the door and there was a Deliveroo Postmates guy and he just went, Clara! It's like the first thing. I think it was like half face mask, half like, oh no. That was fun.
That is fun. That's a cool thing. I mean, I can imagine, very few people will ever get to experience sort of that level of fandom and that level of excitement. And it's only been a couple of years. It's probably something that's going to take time, if it'll ever die down. Have you by now, you're comfortable with it? You've come to expect it, maybe not from your delivery person, but people are going to still remember you for that. They're going to bring it up. They're going to say something about it, right? Like that's something you've sort of processed and gotten used to at this point?
It's usually a nice thing, to be honest. And like Doctor Who, I think, was so part of its own, you're part of Doctor Who. Like Doctor Who is the thing that people love, and you're part of it for a little while. So you kind of get to step on board for a little while, and then you leave, and so you kind of feel like you're part of that. But usually, I suppose if people like the show, it's always a really it's a nice thing.
I was reading earlier from when this show had premiered and you first started Victoria, you were very nervous about coming into this role and you had done tons of research. I want to talk to you about that in a second. But first, what I thought would be interesting, here we are, we're 3 seasons in. Has any of that...
Aged.
Yeah, the characters aged and we've all grown as people. Have the nerves and all that, you've done your research, you've been with her for 3 years now. Have you gotten comfortable? Have you been able to just kind of inhabit and play in this world and have a little more fun?
Yeah, it's a funny thing, actually, especially coming back to the 3rd season. You very much, I feel like there's something like returning home, I want to say. Or I suppose when you're returning to a character that you've known so well and you've left alone for a little bit. And I went off to do this series called The Cry, and then I got to pick up the biographies again, and it was a really exciting thing to revisit a person who you feel like you've kind of, well, at least been trying to get to get to know for a little while. So you can pick up her diaries again.
So you do that when you come back to the show. You'll go back and revisit the diaries
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
primer and just get yourself ready.
Well, no, more that. So I'll always read her diaries up to the point of the series that we go to. So then going back this series, I could pick up again from, you know, like the French Revolution, and then follow through to like the Great Exhibition, which kind of is our series this year. So her diaries accompany me. I mean, they literally accompany me to work in the car in the morning or in makeup, and you can just like log on to the day.
Yeah.
Like basically stalking Queen Victoria, I think.
What are you when you're researching, stalking, when you're doing all that? What are you, as an actor, what are you looking for? What's something that like that'll stand out to you that you can like sink your teeth into that you could use later beyond just getting a window into her life? Like, is there something specific that you're like on the prowl for or keeping an eye out for?
The tiny details for me. Excuse me.
I'll talk while you take a sip of your beverage as to not have an awkward pause or silence. There we are. See?
Good work. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you. Well, I was seamless. As you were saying, what are you looking for?
For me, it's the kind of this really small details. Like there was one thing in her diary about her on a walk with her prime minister, and she was saying like she just wanted to go roll in the grass. And I suppose that image and that impulse of her she's a queen walking with the prime minister. Imagine our queen today and being like, God, all I want to do is actually just go roll around in the grass. And something like Albert had an in joke where with their child there was a deer when they were in Scotland making a noise outside, and he said to Vicky, the oldest child, you know, if you keep on, he kept teasing her that he was going to bring the deer into the bedroom. And she was like, you know, it's just like the tiny, intimate, like familial details that kind of give you an essence of their day-to-day life.
And those little details too, they're all the things that, I mean, they humanize the whole story and the whole time. Because even when you're watching the show and I'm watching you guys perform, you know, it's almost 200 years ago. It might as well be another planet because the rules are so different and everything is so different. But then there are those little things that make it human and don't make it alien, right?
And especially when you can go to the places like the Athol Blair Castle where we were for Scotland, and obviously you've got Kensington Palace. Windsor Castle, like Osborne House where they lived, and their piano stools, which I find so romantic. They're piano stools because they're the only people who've ever lived in that house, and Albert built it because he's just a goddamn genius. But their stools are still next to one another, and I love that. Like you can kind of see that like a little bit worn where the butts are, and it's like, you know, you can just really picture them playing duets together at the piano, and they're just still there, like kind of in history, and their double desks are together with all the photos around. And
that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And you guys, are you visiting or are you filming on those locations? Like
we did a little bit of outdoor stuff at Osborne this year. Osborne apparently is the pronunciation.
I got to imagine between like being there and then the costumes, like that's got to help you sort of be present and get into that mode and get into that world, right?
It's
and
incredible.
Sort of get lost in it, yeah.
I mean, because usually you're just relying on your imagination to bring something to life. So when you can like walk literally in the footsteps or in the room or like touch a banister that she touched on the day that she became queen when she was 18 years old and walk down those stairs, and you just see the whole story coming to life in your head. So it's amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty
gift.
amazing. Talk to me about, real quick, the costumes. We've seen a couple of times they're putting you in the course. How accurate to the period are there? How many layers are they putting you in? How is it just look amazing, or is it like through and through? It's exactly
and through.
It's thorough, isn't it?
It is.
Oh man, is that tough?
We're just what they call crinoline now. So the kind of the crinoline, which is they're more like the cages that they used to step in. Have you seen like the skeleton?
Yeah.
But before that, to get that shape, they were just petticoat after petticoat after petticoat. So it's like it really changes the way you walk and the way you move, because it's like wearing a massive duvet. Like a massive, elegant kind of duvet.
If you had to ballpark, how much weight do you think you're taking on? How heavy do you think that is?
We do a Georgian ball this year, and I reckon, I mean, I had a good kind of like 10 petticoats or something on that day. So the only way to walk is like, you look so ridiculous. But it's really interesting because as a character, she can't really run.
No.
Or if she does, it's like afterwards because of the corsets and stuff. But it's interesting to be bound in that way, I think.
Yeah, I can imagine. Also, I was always curious too, like what it's like, sort of between takes. Every show, notoriously, there's a lot of hurry up and wait, and it's like I wonder, is it easier for you guys to just all sort of stay in the moment, or are you oscillating between like 1848 and present day? Like, are you coming out of it? Or are you staying there because you can't escape it? You can't run.
Yeah, I'm not particularly method or anything like that. But sometimes the voice will kind of like stick a little bit, I suppose. But more, to be honest, the reality of being on set on Victoria is once you call cut, and to be honest, during action, it's just like walking into a creche where there's so many children and it's like chaos. And then it's like chaos with the children, and one's hiding behind like a pillar, the other one wants a mum, the other one's eating Doritos, the other one's like, and then it's like, and action, and you're talking to the Prime Minister about politics, and like, you know, a child is like pulling her knickers out of a bum or whatever, you know, it's just like, honestly, it's kind of like, it's I mean, kids, it's chaos.
Yeah, kids. You're sitting there, you're like, don't put your Dorito hands on that stool. It's been there for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
You know, having absorbed so much of the material, done so much research, and knowing so much about her and the time, I, for one, like I said, this show has made me like look up things I wouldn't normally look up. I was surprised. I think it was the silk ball. I saw that and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. Let me look this up. And to find out that like Albert was way more gung-ho about the silk ball, and he was like pushing it through according to like the, I don't know, Wikipedia, which I believe because it's on the internet, right? But like when I was reading about it, my question that I'm going towards is the show naturally, as a show, it's not a documentary, deviates slightly for narrative purposes. Are you like really sensitive to those? Do you pick up on those? Do you even care about when that happens? Do you not know when that happens? What's your take on that?
No, I mean, there's definitely certain aspects of the show which you're aware we're making a series with storytelling, you know, and then there's certain things which are kernels of truth that, you know, you can kind of spin in your own way. But the essences, and I think particularly with Victoria and Albert, you kind of don't need to be honest, because it's all there for you to stick to those narratives. But it is amazing. Like even where we kick off this series is the King of France gets overthrown and turns up pretty much on Victoria's doorstep, having had no longer king, and there's been a revolution. And to read her diaries and see her perspective of that situation of a king in rags on her doorstep with having nothing left, and the idea that that could happen to her, and to read her perspective on it was really interesting.
Is there, I mean, I'm really excited for this season. There's some new people coming to the show this season we're talking about. Is there a particular, you said you don't read beyond where we are in the show when you're reading the diaries, right? Like, you know a little bit, like we all know what happens eventually, but like you don't read like the details, the nitty-gritty until you get close. Because I was going to say, is there a point or a period of time that you're really excited to get to that we haven't gotten to yet?
The Great Exhibition, which we've just got to at the end, was really a really exciting point. And I feel like next, I suppose, it's poor Albert. It's Albert's death, I think, is a really, because for Victoria, that whole point of history, her mum dies, who she's got a very complicated relationship with. Her mum dies just a few months earlier, and then Albert dies a few months after that, and he dies a few days after her son goes to, has been having an affair, and Albert goes to talk to him about morals, and they have a big walk, he gets soaking wet, and a few days later he dies, because he picks up... Spoiler, sorry. I mean, Wikipedia.
Yeah, exactly.
But so she blames Bertie for the rest of their life. That's a really complicated relationship. It's just in terms of emotionally where Victoria's at throughout those months and obviously goes into this morning, which is huge.
Yeah, it's a big. That's exciting to be able as an actor to take on that period and try to live in those shoes.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a silly question really quick?
Yeah.
I thought of this. This is where my brain goes. But you mentioned Albert's passing, and I thought of difficult passings. Was it as hard for you to say bye to Dash as it was for me as a viewer? It was so sad. I knew it was, and it was done beautifully too with Lord M and all that stuff. But just like as you're walking in that room, I was like, please don't be dead. Don't be. Oh no! Like watching it,
Dash.
it was really rough. Beautifully done, very difficult.
It was also a really strange thing, and all I could think was that dog is actually called Tori, was
really?
amazing at playing dead. Like, did not move. I was just like, this is, and I was like, it was the real dog that we used. He was just like the best actor. Like, It's amazing.
That's where all the awards need to go.
I know, seriously.
Where's the award for Tori?
But that dog, Tori, played Emily Blunt's Dash in The Young Victoria. So it's like that was his first job.
Yeah.
And then she finished off her career.
Very familiar with the role at that point.
I mean,
They know
yeah,
what
it's
they were
his
asking.
role, Dash. There's no other Dash.
There's no other Dash. Talking about season 3, we're going to go to the audience in a second, but mentioning some of the new people. Lawrence Fox, we've got Kate Fleetwood. Is it fun? Is it exciting getting some fresh faces on the set, bringing some new people into the fold?
Yeah, it's fun. It is fun. And I always love the kind of Victoria Prime Minister relationship, and this one has a very different vibe. She hates him, is the kind of the vibe. And Kate Fleetwood plays her half-sister, who's kind of an Iago-esque character. Very, she's hilarious, but she's quite cattish and manipulative and coquettish and really fun.
Really fun and exciting.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to bring up, because I thought, speaking of fun and exciting, I think it's in May. You're doing All My Sons at the Old Vic.
Yeah.
That's super cool. You got to be pumped about that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I am.
You guys getting prepped for that? You done rehearsals and all that yet?
Yeah, I've been told Sally Field will be off book on day 1, so I'm like, okay.
It's on. Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, Sally Field. I want to say who else is doing that with I just saw it last
Bill
night.
Pullman.
Yes, Pullman. Oh, my God.
And Colin Morgan.
And Colin Morgan,
Yeah, really exciting.
Very,
It feels-
very exciting.
Yeah, to get back on the stage.
Is that, I was going to say, getting back into stage, is that something, did you seek that out specifically, like you've done a lot of on-camera stuff and you wanted to get back in front of a live audience, getting back in front of the crowd? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking for something for a while. And yeah, this just feels like, Jeremy Herrin, the director, and the Old Vic, and the play, Arthur Miller. It's just, it was kind of, impossible to pass up, really.
Super cool. Well, that's something to look forward to. Speaking of things looking forward to, this Sunday, I wrote it down right here. Masterpiece on PBS Sunday, January 13th, 9/8 Central, Season 3. Victoria is back. Very exciting. We've got some audience questions. The first one is going to come to us from Twitter, from Zoe, Zoaayy, Zoe would say, hey, would you like to direct or produce a show or a film one day?
Ooh, Zoe. I think I would. I wouldn't necessarily be in it if that's what I was doing.
So you don't want to do the whole direct and star, direct and produce kind of thing? You want to either be in front or behind the camera?
I think so, yeah. I think that would maybe be the way for me. Yeah.
Can I dig a little deeper? Why you think that is? It's just a lot at once?
I just try to imagine the directing yourself. It must be a really odd thing. And also, I don't know, maybe baby steps, potentially.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There you go. Do it behind the camera, master it, feel comfortable in both worlds, and then bring it together.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I need somebody else. I need somebody else to direct me. I can't direct myself.
Also, this is very helpful. Zoe.
Oh, yeah, okay, Zoe.
There it
Oh,
is.
Zoe.
Yeah, it's right up top. There we go.
Okay.
Great question, Zoe. Thank you so much for that. We've got some questions in the room as well. Our first one is going to come from right here on our green couch. Go for it.
Hi. So I've read somewhere that part of your research when creating the character Victoria was from her diaries as well as her paintings. Yeah. And I was wondering what it was about the paintings in particular that inspired you the most and why.
So her paintings are, for me, and actually, the only thing unedited, because her diaries, although they're all her voice, all her words, were actually edited by her daughter. And obviously you've got the biographies, you've got the and other things, but her sketches and her watercolors are the only thing that is truly untouched. So I think in terms of what interests her and her vision and literally how she saw the world is all through her paintings. So I think it's a really interesting way to look. And you can see when she's younger, it's all ballerinas and opera and the dramatic, kind of melodramatic scenes. And when she's older, it's much more kind of landscapes and simple, or the children. So, and her mother, she draws her mother all in black, in shadow, looking quite menacing. So it's really interesting. Yeah, wow, exactly.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a great question. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks.
We're going to do 2 more. We got 2 more questions. Next one's coming from right over here on our blue couch. Go for it.
Hi, Jenna.
Hi.
I was wondering what was your biggest challenge in filming the season, despite Queen Victoria being a very familiar character to you by now?
God, sorry, there's so many flashes in my head of was it the German opera or the ball dancing or the horse riding or I think it's probably, I want to say, the aging and kind of really slowly doing that. Victoria and Albert have technically been together for about 10 years now, so they're 10 years into their marriage, and so I suppose it's just subtly bringing in those changes.
Yeah.
And maybe more labor scenes, trying to find new ways of doing labor scenes, man. I mean, I've done so many. I've got no noises left. I don't know what to do anymore.
That is a very specific and I would say a unique challenge with this particular character.
I'm like, again? I asked Daisy, can we do it in a montage? Because we've still got more births to come. I had to do a birth scene in The Cry as well. It's just like, we need to just stop having me in labor.
My gosh.
I've not even had children yet. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, can you imagine if that day were to finally come, you realize?
I'll be like, right.
There it is. That's what I was missing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Nuance that I
Get it now.
How many are we up to? 6 kids? You got 3 left?
7.
7. We're up to 7 now.
Yeah, 7. 2 more to go.
Only 2 left. What kind of research you doing for that?
I know. It's like shooting The Sound of Music a bit sometimes, I feel.
Go on.
Yeah, it's a bit like The Sound of Music. A slash kind of mixed with, you don't have a show here called Outnumbered, do you?
I don't believe we do. Outnumbered? Anybody?
No.
What's Outnumbered, Tom?
It's like a kids improvised show in the UK.
Oh.
It's a bit like, it's a mixture of those sometimes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Kids improvised show.
Yeah.
So like kind of like a Whose Line Is It Anyway? Like, is it improv comedy? Is it?
No, it's like a sitcom.
Oh, it's a sitcom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, check it out.
Outnumbered. Yeah, I'm going to look it up. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to go look it up.
Okay.
We've got, what is it, one more? Okay, we're going to do one more question, and it's coming to us from right here on the same couch. Go for it.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
So speaking of all my sons,
Yes.
I know that, are there any personality similarities between your character in the play and Victoria?
The character in the play.
Yeah.
I don't know yet because, I mean, on the outset, I can't, there's nothing that kind of jumps out at me immediately other than to say perhaps she's independent, and especially independent of her time. She comes from New York and comes back to find, her partner effectively, and to her childhood home. But there's nothing... I think what's really interesting, what's really drawn me to the play is it's all about veneer, whereas Victoria is very immediate. There's kind of, whatever she thinks, feels, it's very immediate. So in that way, I'd say it's really very different. And that's the joy of playing Victoria, because she's immediate and emotionally immediate in a social time when there's rules and protocol and etiquette and ways of behaving. But Victoria, which is what I always love about her, and as she's getting older, I feel she gets more and more so, is she kind of just lays it out. She's very frank. And yeah.
Sure. You did, thank you for your questions, by the way. And we're going to wrap it up in just a second, but I do have just a quick follow-up of, like, if your research process going into a stage show, so I know you did research not only for this, but I was reading you did research going into The Cry. I assume you researched going into Doctor Who. Is it different when you're going to stage, the things you're looking for, the things you're trying to figure out about your character?
I honestly don't know yet. It's like a whole new world for me, really. We begin rehearsing in March. I start accent work at the end of this month, Ohio, 1947.
Cannot wait for that. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So it's going to be, I honestly don't know yet. I don't know what like a rehearsal process, you get some of it on certain, we got a bit in The Cry. We do a little bit on Victoria, but a TV is like you store and you film quickly and you move quickly. Yeah. Whereas I'm going to have this 2-hour play to have for like months, which is like a whole new thing.
It's very exciting. I'm so excited that you were able to come here and hang out with us for a little bit.
Thanks.
It's fantastic having you. I hope you had fun with us.
Yeah.
The show is coming back this Sunday on PBS here in the States. We could not be more thrilled. Everybody, please, one more time, make a ridiculous amount of noise for the great Jenna Coleman.